go.
There it is. Alright. I think they can hear us.
No, Fred Fine.
Cool.
How are you all doing?
So we'll let some people filter in for just a minute. Yeah,
Oh, let me turn my volume down.
Yeah.
What up, Darren S? Oh, you know what? Let me blast this out over the intranet.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Howdy, 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 everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hello, you freakish neighbor.
We got Cyber77, we got Josh Lowe, we got Matt Reyes. I hope I'm saying that last name right, Matt. Joseph Savaries. Happy Halloween. Again, hope I'm saying that last name right.
No more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. No more days till Halloween.
And then we'll be at 364 till the next Halloween.
Indeed. So, I have to turn down my volume as well. Right, that's right, sir.
Alright,
Gotta
so-
turn down that volume.
Yeah, she's got the volume on, she.
So we have a lot to discuss tonight, guys, because as
A lot.
I'm sure all of you would know,
Cool,
this
Joseph.
October,
Thanks, Matt. I'm glad I got those last names right.
this October has been legitimately bonkers, not just because of the fact that, 2020 is what it is, but as
It's
far
a
as
shit
like
show. Let's not sugarcoat it.
truth be told, man. But as far as like streaming content, accessibility for new things to watch, there has been an immense abundance, and we did get the chance to check out a lot of it, not all of it, because how the hell could anybody watch stuff between Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, every destination to stream stuff? It's insane to me.
So real quick, Justin Perry, he asked us if we can say a happy Halloween to Emily.
Happy Halloween,
Happy
Emily.
Halloween, Emily.
Emily.
So yes, like Fuego said, did we do that? Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Robert the Wolfman.
And Jaime and Fuego.
And we are here to do some, just a fun, since we can't party or anything, we can't go trick-or-treating, we are here to do a review session. Guys, quite frankly, we do so many reviews on this channel, and we already are backed up so many episodes on this channel that we just couldn't, I can't justify taking time to do reviews for every single thing that we watch anymore.
Yeah.
This is all part of the fat trimming that we're going to be doing in the new year. And because quite frankly, we have enough episodes now to last us probably through January. So we need to start trimming. And so we are going to be consolidating a bunch of reviews into this very episode. I think we've got something like 15 to 20 different reviews we're gonna just blast through here.
Jesus
right
Christ, did we really have that many?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Oh yeah, we did
that's
add more.
Yeah.
Well, and also there's others that I didn't even throw on the list, like Let
Yeah.
It Snow, that Jason Smith reviewed, and a few
Oh,
others.
yeah.
I mean, there's a like I watched a lot this month, man, as I know all of us did. So.
All right, so let's start off, Fuego, with one I know that you've been excited to talk about for a while, and that is the Creepshow animated special. So
Yeah, we had mixed feelings about this one.
we did. I was not the biggest fan of this. So
It's a motion comic.
I was a big fan of the original Creepshow show, the one from last year,
Yeah.
that was so enjoyable for horror fans. This one was just subpar. This was not an animated special, like you said, Fuego. This was basically just 2 motion comic books.
Yeah.
And that is to say that so much, there was no actual animation of mouths or anything like that. It was
No,
just
like barely movement.
just barely movement of still frames, and that to me does not say animated special. So the stories were okay, but the problem is the narrator of the second story is
King,
a vapid teenage girl that is tweeting the whole time, and while performed well, it was just frustrating to me. So I was not a fan of the animated special, Fuego. You, conversely, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I was into it because of the fact that I like both of the source materials.
Zachary Haith, it was crap. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But so yes, twittering from the Circus of the Dead, which is the Joe Hill one. I could see why that's a little bit more polarizing, especially with the fact that, she's kind of annoying. I must admit, and yet she's annoying in the source material, so it's not very surprising. I mean, she's like living it up properly. This was actually collected in Full Throttle, the most recent Joe Hill release, and so that is what it is. But it was really, really nice to see a Survivor type that was supposed to be like a full-on release in the first season of the show, and I guess they axed it because of the fact that they said the practical of him cutting off his body parts was just going to be too expensive for them to do. So they end up revisiting it with Kiefer Sutherland voicing this guy. So I don't know. I was a little bit more forgiving, but it's still. With Survivor Type especially, it didn't really give as much background about the character and the stuff with his father and his football career. I mean, they touched upon it very briefly, but dude stranded on an island and he starts to eat himself. That's essentially all that it really boils down to. Both stories are very simplistic in that regard. Robert, you didn't watch either.
No, I didn't get to this one. Kind of makes me think, because honestly, that last part I was like, well, shit, did you go for the calf first? Like, what do you...
Feet first.
Feet first, yeah. It's
then slowly up his legs.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a story from Skeleton Crew for all
Did
the
he even
Stephen King
attempt to
fans.
try and find something else?
Oh, yeah.
He did.
for a while.
So he just sucks at hunting.
Well, I mean, he is like...
Not enough seagulls came through, I guess.
Yeah, he is like on this tiny island with a bunch of drugs he was trying to smuggle, and that's really what it boils down to. So, yeah, it could have been better. I mean, I did you at least like the illustrations, even though they didn't move really very much?
Not all of them. I mean, it seemed very Brian Boland-esque.
Okay.
The same guy that did The Killing Joke.
Okay.
So at times it was interesting, but at times it was really awkward drawings as well. The facial, proportions were a little odd at times.
I can feel on the expressions not quite being there sometimes, especially in Survivor Type.
No.
I mean, I like the look of the zombie circus in the second story.
Yeah,
but
that was
I
better.
But I can feel you with Joey's narration just being kind of like, sort of bit. So
it really was.
Which is where,
So because it was just such a fall flat animation wise, there's not really much to talk about as far as effects or anything like that goes.
And I mean it's like a little over 40 minutes. So it's basically to tide us over until the second season of the show proper returns.
If you're really hard up for more creep show action, then give it a try, I guess. But don't expect animation.
Yeah.
Expect motion still images. That's a big, big difference.
Yeah, which is something I said in the Hail to Stephen King Facebook group. I was like, don't anticipate, something that is just vibrant and fluid, because it's not. It's very just stilted and kind of stiff in the lack of movements that we actually get. So.
Conversely, Chance Moody says, I liked it. I just read the Twitter story by Joe Hill literally the day before. I was just stoked to see an adaptation the next day. But that's the thing. Was it a good adaptation, or were you just stoked to see an adaptation the next day? Those don't equate necessarily.
So I'm more so in his camp in that regard, in the fact that since I really love the story, to see it visualized with wondering if her brother is part of the process and performing.
That's
all
true.
That
if someone made a film or a motion comic version of a Green Lantern story I love or something like that. I would be like, oh, it's cool just to see that in print, So I get that. In animated form. Yeah,
especially because the way Joe actually wrote it was tweets. I mean, it's like this tweet, and it's just like update after update in that regard.
I kind of like that he followed his dad in that his dad did the script format for Storm of the Century.
Yeah.
And then Joe Hill did one just straight up tweet format. I kind of dig that.
The apple doesn't fall far, man. Joe Hill is the shit. I love that guy. Anyway.
Chance says, yes, true, it was just more exciting to see it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Matt Reyes, I listened to a podcast about the Creep Show, and apparently they were rushed and were working the same day it was due to be turned in. Oh, no.
Of course. Are you surprised? Yeah.
Oofda. All right, well, let's move on to the next thing, Fuego. We have plenty to keep us busy.
Indeed,
we do. This one, did you watch this one?
Which one? Yeah, fuck yeah, I watched Jaime.
All right.
This one, god damn it. I was so happy with this movie, because,
Yeah, you start on this, because we just talked.
Yeah,
so.
okay. We just...
So basically, like
Jabba.
if you guys watched our trailer review and everything, all of us were really not on board for this whatsoever.
I'm not a big. I don't like Sandler after the first 4 movies generally.
Okay.
Even Little Nicky? Even Little Nicky?
No, I did not like Little Nicky.
Wow, what's wrong with you?
I love Little Nicky.
I didn't like it. I would watch Hubie Halloween all the time before I'd watch Little Nicky.
What?
Nicky, we are forever your slaves!
No.
Blasphemy.
But I'm not a metal guy.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
it is kind of a
Okay,
movie
yeah,
to be fair.
yeah, alright.
See? That's
To
all I
be
needed to
fair,
say.
Yeah,
That's all I needed to say.
No.
Alright,
I'm much
but-
more of a Hocus Pocus Town,
Don't get me wrong.
Ernest
You
Scared
mean
Stupid.
Halloween- you mean Halloween
I saw you
Town?
on Facebook with Jason Smith earlier.
I'm
talking
saying
about
this has that atmosphere, which
Oh
is
yeah,
why I
it's
like
whimsical.
it so much. Yeah.
It's
It's a young person's Halloween movie.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a whimsical family Halloween movie with like, and this movie is cameo city out the ass.
Fuego's right. The
which you
very
get-
first
you get right
cameo
off
is
the
Dude,
bat.
yeah. And
Right
he, like,
off the
First
bat.
is
he
best.
did his damnedest not to spoil that first cameo for me. And when I lost
And
it,
I wanted-
he wanted to so badly. And
I
I,
was like, you would not believe
yeah,
these
when
at
I
the
saw that, I
beginning
ended up
of
messaging
Halloween.
on the group thread and everything. I'm like, that was the greatest cameo. I don't give a shit if the movie sucks. Like,
Yeah,
this is the
agreed.
greatest cameo.
It really was.
But that's the thing, like, with this movie is actually, okay, it's like, Sandler really wasn't, he was kind of forgettable personally in this movie, and a lot of that to do was, I think, just the voice. The voice is what irked me the most.
He went back to doing one of those like early Sandler kind of.
Yeah, and but that's the thing is like with this movie, like I said, like how cameo centric this is. Your cameos are your stars of the movie. Like they outshine Sandler in this personally.
Yeah.
Tim Meadows,
Like,
man.
oh my god, no,
He really does. Yeah, the movie does prop up the secondary players more than Hubie,
exactly,
which is nice.
Yeah, and the same with
kinda like it.
was it oh god damn, I can't
Steve
remember his
Buscemi.
name. Steve Buscemi, but
Buscemi's
Farmer
great.
John, that was literally his name. Farmer John, and then the other lady, the ones who got their pig killed
Oh yeah.
and everything. Oh my god, they had me fucking rolling. At one point, he's like, "Can I borrow your gun? I'll shoot her. You can arrest me right after."
Oh, the
Just
fighting couple.
I lost my
fighting couple
shit.
were
I'm just like,
hilarious,
yes,
yeah.
do it.
The fighting couple were hilarious.
I was actually very amused by Shaq too. Shaq
Oh my
was
god,
just
that
like,
threw
Shaq
me
Oh,
was
for
the
a
radio
loop. I was
voice.
not expecting that at all.
That was
but that
funny.
was a nice.
People always look at me and have a misconception
Yeah,
of what to
but that was a nice
expect.
thing because that was a little nod to John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yeah, of course.
Like
yeah.
that was a nice little thing with that, and
100%,
like, and like
yeah,
even
which is-
throughout this movie, there were so many nods to like your favorite horror movies. Even if like you might not know what they are, you're kind of familiar with the scenario of what they play up.
And this was actually him reteaming with the writer of like
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore,
Yeah.
Billy Madison, and stuff. And didn't it have kind of that feel?
It did.
A little
Again,
bit?
I think it's a
It
winning
did.
formula.
But it was a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good family-centric movie.
The best Adam Sandler movie is still The Wedding Singer, but
Yes.
Amen,
nonetheless.
100%. Which
yeah.
is not
I
a
will
Happy
agree.
Madison.
Yeah, technically that
production.
isn't that.
it doesn't matter. It's
not
still
a
the best
Happy
Adam Sandler
Madison.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Still the best Adam Sandler movie.
100%.
But okay, let
you
me
know what
let me
women
jump
do?
in.
They rip your heart.
Let me jump in here.
Sorry.
I was extraordinarily skeptical about this one going into it. I was like not on board for it again. I've not had a good Adam Sandler movie in my craw
Hold
in
on.
a long time.
Bulletproof is an amazing movie. Yes.
I think.
Did you see the new one that came out this year?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Absolutely
do
not. I
Yeah,
refuse.
they
Completely
do a
new
sequel.
actors.
Nope.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
But let me.
Uncut Gems is really good, dude.
That was actually.
Fuck that. I don't like
Great.
serious Adam Sandler very
Great
much.
movie.
But
Rain
this
Over Me?
movie again, I just wasn't. No, I didn't like Punch Drunk Love. I didn't like any of
Oh
that
no,
shit.
that was
Or-
good. That
yeah,
was
no.
concept.
Rain Over Me is just sad.
Well, Rain Over Me, yeah, that was just sad. But this one, I loved the atmosphere they set up. Again, they captured the Halloween atmosphere, the small town. It's Salem, right? It's Salem, just like Hocus Pocus was Salem. Ernest Scared Stupid was also, I think, New England, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know for sure, but it's got that New
if you
England
guys
feel.
know,
That's
let
what I'm
us know.
saying. It's got that
Yeah.
New England
Yeah.
Halloween feel.
Did you know one
The
of those
small town.
The small
Yeah.
town Halloween where it's
Yeah,
like a big
where
deal.
actually
Yeah.
everyone does things.
And
Yeah, one
I
of those
liked
reporter women lost their job for being in this movie. Did you hear
No
about that?
shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. One of the
Why?
girls who was dressed as Harley Quinn because she had some.
Oh, that's too
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
That's
she lost her job.
The Harley
because,
Quinn joke was really
that
funny.
was funny. It's like everyone.
And
that
that's the
year.
other thing. There's another funny running joke. The running joke where every time he's on his bike, shit gets thrown at him.
Oh yeah, he's like
Even when there's no
dodgeball
one
champion.
on the
That's-
street,
Yeah.
shit gets thrown at him, and
Yeah,
that
those
made me
goddamn
laughed
And
so
the bit with
hard.
The O'Doyle kid.
The O'Doyle,
Oh, the O'Doyle
but
stuff.
like when he's
Again,
going,
there was just
when he's
so
going
much to
through
laugh
and he's
at.
getting shit chucked at him, like in the background, at one time it's a full-on cinder block.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, who's throwing a cinder block?
I was laughing in spite of myself. Like
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. The obvious, the girl is way too attractive for this era Adam Sandler. Sort of, it's the same thing that
I've been in love
David
with you
Spade
since
did
grade
with
school.
the last movie that he did this year, which was also hilarious. Him and Lauren Lapkus, the one that came on Netflix, where it was The Wrong Missy.
I don't know.
If you haven't watched The Wrong Missy, dude,
All right.
watch it. You will laugh your
All right.
balls off.
Noted.
Laugh your balls off. But
I
that
like
was
my
another
balls.
one where it's like, I didn't expect a David Spade movie.
Keep my
I want
balls.
to keep my
I'm
balls.
just saying, they keep playing on that, the older comedian somehow
Yeah,
gets these
yeah,
younger chicks. But nonetheless, Hubie Halloween made me happier than I thought it would, so I can recommend it, honestly.
No,
I can.
most definitely. I can highly
And
recommend
I would
this.
put it into my regular October rotation.
As
A breakup, amongst all the great horror films you
Yeah,
watch,
just
as
throw in a new classic.
different palate cleanser,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
honestly,
I
I
think
can
I could
see
do
I
that.
can see this movie actually getting not necessarily a cult following, but it'll have a good ground of a fan base.
Right, give me so Halloween, right? Say October, you get 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, right? 31 days, but 4 to 5 weeks of movies that are October themed. I think putting one movie a week that's family Halloween themed
Agreed.
works. I think
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus. I think Ernest Scared Stupid. I think Hubie Halloween. What would be another one?
I mean, I still say
Witches.
Monster Squad, maybe.
Monster Squad, most
Which I
definitely.
just rewatched the other
Yeah,
night. I mean,
the original Witches.
Is it technically Halloween-ish? But
Well,
I think you pull it off though.
It's.
I mean, you can.
I'm trying to,
argue-
but if we're sticking strictly to Halloween, give me one
Okay,
more
I mean, I would
family
say-
Halloween movie.
I would say Little Monsters.
Is
I
it
would
Halloween?
say-
That's not
I would say
Halloween, though.
Return to Oz.
That's
I would
not
say
Halloween
it's
either.
not tech-
No, I'm
I mean,
saying
okay,
Halloween,
Monster Squad
actual
is way,
Halloween
Monster Squad
timing.
is way more Halloween than like most of the others that we would mention.
Missy, not that great, but was okay. Producer Dave and I, we rolled at The Wrong Missy, Zachary. I don't know what to tell you. We absolutely did. Okay, well let's move on here from Hubie.
Yes.
Again, we have a lot to take care of here tonight.
And we are so glad that all of you guys are chillaxing, whether you're at home, whether you're out and about, like looking on your cellular devices, you're hopefully trying to get home safe. Like, what the hell?
So I'm going to do a couple movies on my own, and at some
Please
point
do.
Fuego's going to have an entire Fuego corner where he's going to talk about like
Yeah.
7 movies that only he watched.
He's been a
Because
busy,
we
busy
divide
boy.
and conquer, basically. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
I mean,
we
that's
see
what-
what's worth it for each other.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we are cohorts in crime in that regard. I mean, we've been working together for like 6 years at this particular point.
So I'm going to burn through a few myself real quick. This one is Rogue. This is the Megan Fox escaped lion movie. This is literally a movie about a area in Africa that is set on illegal poaching and trading of wildlife and
dude, this was a movie that I was so hopeful you were going to tell me it was like Ghost in the Darkness kind of vibe.
oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
So this is
I
quite
love
literally.
Ghost in the Darkness.
It just starts with these bad guys are trying to transport these lions and they f up doing it. Right? It's the beginning of Jurassic Park. They f it up and one of the lions, one of the lions escapes. Which there's going to be another homage on the channel in the not too distant future for that.
Yeah.
But yes, the lion escapes. It's a female lion. It's not a big mane lion. It's a female lion. And meanwhile, Megan Fox is the leader of an elite military squad
How was the fox going to go against a lion?
that went in to try and free women that are a part of a slave trade, and they happen across this lion which has escaped and is absolutely crazed and starts picking parts of her squad off one at a time.
To see the Shudder movie.
Well, they're not very good soldiers then.
No. and the thing is, it's an escaped lion movie. You expect to see some carnage. It is the most CGified lion you could ever expect. There's not a real lion to be had maybe throughout the whole movie outside of the cages.
Yeah, Ghost in the Darkness, where they're talking about licking the skin off. Like, there's so
Ghost
much,
in the Darkness was an
amazing.
That is an amazing.
Joel Schumacher, rest in peace, guys.
That might be his best movie in my opinion.
That guy
quite honestly.
could direct the fuck out of a movie, whether it was A Time to Kill.
That was great too. Damn, you're right. But nonetheless, Rogue, you
just a
guys,
Batman movie.
we don't need to go much further than this. It's just Megan Fox is just ridiculous. She's trying to be a tough chick. Like, you know, they're trying to make her a badass Linda Hamilton kind of thing. And it's just not flying.
Which
All
I'm
the other
into.
characters
I
are
can see her
completely
doing
vapid.
it.
It's unwatchable, in my opinion. Do not waste your time on Rogue, you guys.
Oh, it's Megan Fox.
There you go.
All right, next up, I'm going to skip to one that's actually probably going to have some opinions. I don't know if you guys have watched The Witches yet.
Not yet.
This is the 2020 reboot that is starring Anne Hathaway instead of the classic, I can't even remember, Angelica Houston. Thank you. This is the Roald Dahl story, and for a new generation where they replace basically all practical effects with digital effects. And
even the little mice, and I heard Viola Davis was like, I will not work with like an actual physical mouse.
Did she really say that?
She said that in an interview.
Why?
After when I was reading.
Because she's scared
I don't
of
know.
mice?
She thought it was like a cruelty, like sort of situation. And so,
Wow. Okay.
Pansy.
Yeah, I mean it falls way short of the original. The original is one of the best, you know, children's horror movies that you can get your hands on. Things that'll scare your kids.
Especially the reveal aspect. That was actually creepy as shit when I was a kid. But at the same time, that solidified my love of practical effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the witches that were all bald and the horrible noses and everything, all that stuff.
That was cool.
All they did in this one instead was just slit
smile.
all of their mouths into
I-
the big wide smile.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
yeah, this
terrible.
is one that you.
And she hovers. She hovers now too.
Yeah.
She levitates.
Interesting.
But the other thing
Thank
is
you for
her
watching
arms.
this.
Her arms grow, so like they
I still
escape.
have to watch
They
it.
escape
It's
into
like-
a vent.
It's like a rite of passage.
The mice at one point escape into a vent after watching the big crowd scene, and she like reaches in and her arms like start going and like start extending and reaching after
Okay, that's
them.
kind of cool.
That was the only cool thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was driving at.
Damn, that's,
Yeah,
that's
I had-
disappointing. But
I had major hopefulness about
are
this
you
man
surprised?
because Robert Zemeckis, dude.
What up, Scott?
You know, Robert Zemeckis has been more so known in recent years for like, you know, Beowulf, and I was talking with Robert about this a little while ago. You know, like A Christmas Story, and what's the other one? It's another Christmassy one with Tom Hanks. I can't goddamn remember. Polar Express.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he's a little bit more so known for. But you have to remember, I mean, Back to the Future trilogy. Forrest Gump, goddamn, dude. I mean, one of the most talented directors in my estimation of the last 30 years. And so that's tough in that regard. But yeah, to hear, you know, just the negativity about it, the trailer looks suspect to me. It really did. And, you know, anytime something that they presumably spent money on and they're trying to dump it on a streaming service, that's where you're just like, if they're not holding out like Bond or Halloween,
I honestly
like
think
that,
it's an excuse for them, a lot of them, to dump their movies that would have otherwise not performed well in the theater. That would have acclaimed. It would have accrued a lot. This would have accrued a lot of hate reviews.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people are just kind of ignoring it because it's fallen under the radar on HBO Max.
Well, and also shout out
one movie
to,
no one asked for a remake.
Zachary, you're absolutely right. It is disrespectful to the witches. The story.
Yeah, and also shout out to my buddy Lindsay. He's the member of show business and stuff like that, but he brought something really interesting.
My 2 cents of nonsense.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Lindsay's
Keep
badass,
that beard
man.
growing, good sir. It's looking good.
No, he brought something very interesting to me and Chauncey Robinson's attention recently, where he was like, apparently they don't get the proper scale as a writer if something goes to a streaming service. They don't so
they need to change that.
are fucking those
They're going
people
by
over.
the old rules.
Exactly. So there is going to be major
That's
renegotiations.
brutal.
He has friends that are in that pool of people, and he brought that to our attention. We were just like, holy crap. Maybe that's another reason they're trying to recoup losses by just dumping stuff on streaming. So
I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Obviously, a couple of you have noticed as well. We're getting ratioed a little bit on the likes. We have 5 dislikes and been on 20 minutes.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So I don't know what we've done. I think it's your costumes. No.
My ass.
It has to be me.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, click that like button for us. Let's fight these trolls.
Three white men.
Yeah, and thanks for hanging out with us, because we're hanging out with all of you on a Halloween.
Indeed. We're sacrificing our Halloween to be with you.
This is our Halloween party.
Fuego's going to have hell to pay when he gets home.
She was just sad about being alone.
Trolls out tonight, definitely. Thank you guys. I see. Yeah, you guys have been liking. Thank you. Moving on from the witches, I'm going to talk about vampires in the Bronx, or versus the Bronx.
Yeah, I was really curious about this because Netflix actually put out a bunch of different movies this past month. From the paramedic was one. Nobody Survives in the Woods, I think, is another one, which is like a Norwegian
That's a foreign
slasher.
one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of content that they put out. They are like neck and neck.
I watched that trailer just yesterday. That one just looked like a single hillbilly from the
same man.
What is that? Wrong Turn. It's like a Wrong Turn hillbilly, but he's a huge one.
Yeah.
So I watched Vampires versus the Bronx, and quite frankly, you guys, this ended up being much more kid-friendly than I thought it would be. It is definitely geared more towards a black audience, but it is so kid-centric that, yes, it is vampires versus the Bronx, but the vampires, they don't show a bite ever. Like, they cut away from every bite that I can recall.
See, that's really disappointing, especially because, like, I remember I was doing the trailer reaction to this, and I was pretty excited to see this.
No, I was stoked for it,
and
too.
yeah, I'd like even talking with him off screen earlier. Like, I'm kind of glad that I hadn't gotten around to this yet. Like, I'm still gonna eventually watch it, but I'm glad I didn't.
But I mean, there's one girl of the neighborhood that's like the social media queen that like reports on everything going on, and so like she's the transition from a lot of scene to scene, and then like, you know, at the end she's like, yeah, all you know is you don't mess with the BX, you know. It's like, it's one of those movies. It's like they tried to do Attack the Block with vampires.
You ain't no warriors.
Which would
but Attack the Block was fantastic. It was one of the best creature movies ever made, quite frankly. But
and Cornish has been talking about making a sequel for a long time.
This was trying to tap into that vein of tone, and it just didn't quite make it there for me. The vampire artwork, or like the effects were okay, but they were just you know, paler. Buffy vampires,
generic,
with the you know, the furrowed brows, and that's
they had that little thing go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know you and I have mixed feelings about Stuckman, but he described this as Doug, but like vampires.
It's
Doug,
the weirdest comparison, but okay.
The fact that there's
I'll
a
still accept it.
gentrification aspect, and you know, moving into the neighborhood. and all that.
I never
stuff.
watched Doug, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's been so long since I watched Doug. Am I the only one who watched Doug then?
I never had cable until I was like 17, and by that time
I was
like ECW.
I was a DuckTales kid and stuff like that.
I watched DuckTales and shit.
Yeah.
DuckTales. Okay, we're not gonna.
By the way, I'm watching the new DuckTales. That shit's bomb.
I bet.
It is so good.
I bet. You know what?
Good.
Give me a new.
It's the best it's ever
Give me a
been.
new Darkwing Duck.
They are.
Darkwing.
What?
Yeah, they just dropped a new special last week. A new Darkwing Duck special from the new season of DuckTales where they're going to spin them off.
It's all a shared universe, isn't it?
They did. They brought Jim Cummings back to play Darkwing Duck, and he's now the villain. Because someone replaced him as Darkwing Duck, so now he's like the inverse Duck. It's really awesome.
That actually makes me very excited.
That's like kind of inside baseball, but
it's so cool. It's so cool.
Hey,
I'm super excited about that now.
So Triborough Gigolo says Vampires vs. Bronx was a decent film. Would have liked some gore. I agree. I think if they had enhanced, like, it didn't even have the bite that like Little Monsters did, like you mentioned earlier. Like it doesn't even have that sort of darkness. It's everything's just too okay all the time. There's never any stakes, really, and that's.
I still feel like
there's never any stakes in a vampire movie.
I still feel like, dude, especially after watching like Monster Squad the other night, I feel like monster movies, like scary horror films geared at kids, really pushed the envelope so much more. So back in the 80s and the early 90s, they really did. It was more of a degaff sort of mentality, man. They wanted to get as close to that R rating as possible. I mean, even like pieces of the Wolfman, like all reassembling and everything, that could have been an R-rated movie today.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing is like especially during the explosion scenes, like they could have added a lot of gore to that.
Yeah.
So they definitely no stakes. He got it. He got the
yeah, man. We're using the telephone booth, and he's just
that
like,
was, dude. So like yeah, that
It's
like
one of my favorite transformations.
Same,
ever.
and I remember like
Yeah.
I was talking about this like, but it's like if you guys know like this was again one of those movies before I like when I was a kid. It was one of my top 3 that I would consistently rent every fucking time I would go to the movie rental place. And that scene of the Wolfman or the guy turning into the Wolfman inside of the phone booth was one of the scariest things. Like next to I would say with American Werewolf in London on that transformation for being the kid of the age.
Yeah, and I think it's his awareness and the fact that he's just like warning over the course of the phone.
Well, that's the funny thing.
Really...
He actually the same guy who played the werewolf in Monster Squad also played the Wolfman in Fright Night Part 2.
Ah, the one where they were like bowling and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the same guy because he actually played.
Boy, I hated Fright Night Part 2.
He played a Wolfman like in at least like 2 or maybe 3 different things within around the same couple years.
Yeah. So
look about it.
Before we move on to the next movie, I want to take a short break just to say what we're not going to talk about tonight. Okay, because there are a number of movies that came out this month that we are doing separate full reviews for.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous is one of them. Yes, we did a
Really
trailer reaction for a movie called Spontaneous. It is definitely borderline horror, but bullshit. It is full horror when you really think about it. Yeah. It's a movie about a high school class of teenagers that just start exploding spontaneously. And this movie...
Oh, that movie.
Dude, it ended up... I think it's in my top 5 of the year.
It was really
top
great.
5 of the year.
No shit.
It's that good.
Because I remember like the trailer
It's great, man.
It's that fucking good.
Especially the main girl.
No, it's really it's
good.
whip smart dialogue. Okay. It's amazing effects. The storytelling is so good where like you're in the middle of a scene and then all of a sudden off camera you just hear and then people just start running in the background and you're just like, oh,
that's cool. Yeah. So it's like the world, basically was the world's self-awareness and everything that they're giving you.
And the main teenager is just getting more and more depressed and more fucked up because she has no life left to speak of. She's like, I could die, and like the whole point is the whole reason the love story emerges is because the guy's like, when I saw that person explode, I realized I could die tomorrow, so I better tell you how I feel now.
Yeah,
it's just
cute for a
beautiful, cute. It really is. It really is.
Yes,
no, dude, it is definitely terrifying. Yeah, it is terrifying at times. Please, Fuego, go ahead.
No, it's like one of those movies where like the emotion hits so hard, especially in the third act, and you're not necessarily expecting it, and so. Yeah, and I mean...
Surprisingly effective, right?
Very much so, very much so. Yeah, it made me tear up a little bit.
It did.
Yeah.
So, besides that, we also watched Tales from the Hood 3.
Yeah.
We will be doing a separate review for that as well.
Which I actually really liked also.
I liked it much better than the second one, so that's why it's worth doing a review.
Yeah.
Fuego and I went and braved the theaters today to go see Come Play.
Yeah.
Or Come Play. Depending on how you say the title.
And it depends on how you're spelling it.
Paul,
Don't
better
get
calm
confused.
yourself.
Don't get confused with a different sort of film, everybody.
Paul, better calm your damn self.
No,
yeah,
Paul earned himself a ticket
Paul's gone.
A ticket to Bye Bye Channel.
Yeah,
all
peace out,
all right,
Paul.
you already did it? All right.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, that's
yeah. No, but we watched Come Play. Gillian Jacobs.
Piss
Jacobs.
Yeah, Gillian Jacobs. It was a really.
It was from Community.
It was a worth your time monster movie.
Yeah.
It is a monster movie, but it is in the vein of another movie we reviewed like a year and a half ago called My Soul to Take. No, My Soul to Keep.
Is it
My Soul to Take is the Wes Craven one. My Soul to Keep is the one we watched.
Okay.
Yeah, no, My Soul to Keep was really good.
Movie,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like Sean Connery. Let's all like have a moment of silence for Sean Connery because of the fact that
there can be only one.
His last movie was the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and
we don't talk about that much.
Exactly.
Additionally, Fuego and I watched The Craft Legacy, which we did just record our review for that as well. We don't want to talk too much about that, but we had plenty to say about it. Let's just say that.
That's a proper way of assessing it because, oh my goodness, was that... so Cecil coined the term Brebequel, and that is most definitely what that film was because of the fact that it's pretty much remaking the original film, but still tries to cloud itself as being a sequel with some of the stuff that we get at the end of the movie. So I don't know. Disappointing.
And then
is all I shall say.
we will also be reviewing, for better or worse, Wolfman's Got Nards, the documentary about Monster Squad.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing a separate review for that. Fuego got about halfway through it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so we can't give you proper discussion about it. But there's two.
But I mean, speaking of wolf stuff, let's get the
Indeed.
thoughts from our
Let's get thoughts from
here.
Robert, because he
Oh,
and I
we're
watched.
skipping
Did you
one?
watch? Well, yeah, we'll get back to that.
Okay. Alright.
So did you watch this one too, Fuego?
I watched most of it.
Most of it. Okay, so
That's all right. All right, you pretty much got the gist of it.
So we're going to talk about
I'm
the
not
Wolf of
werewolf-
Snow Hollow.
I'm not the werewolf expert here, and this is one that I actually championed all three of us to watch
What the
because
hell
of the fact
going
that
on
there
with
was
you, Fuego?
some super.
You got a fun douchebag.
What do I get?
No, don't worry about it. So go ahead, Fuego. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying that this is one that I championed based on the fact that there was a lot of positive reviews at the festivals and stuff like that. They were saying, hey, it's like, American Werewolf meets Fargo, and it's got the Fargo, quirkiness.
It's definitely got
from,
the
like, some of
Fargo
the
quirkiness and
characters,
everything,
you know?
especially with just, okay, so this movie was actually kind of a pleasant surprise. So I did initially watch the trailer prior, and I was not excited, honestly, watching this movie.
It didn't sell very well.
No,
I'll
the
give it
the
that.
trailer
Yeah.
definitely does not do this movie justice. I will tell you guys that right now. So if that being said, if anything else on what we talk about this movie interests you, definitely go check this out, because there are a lot of merits and good things about this, especially I would say on the practical of what we got. For what we saw and everything, at least, I definitely liked it. We had a little bit, there was one CGI scene for one of the kills, which actually didn't look too bad, which got me more excited about this movie, because again, I love werewolves. Give me a good werewolf movie. But
You're an expert, man.
this one, I wouldn't say expert. I'm more of a lover of things of canine.
Aficionado, I like to say.
But no, with this one, it was kind of refreshing at the same time, because it was a comedy.
Yeah.
But it was
More so, I would say.
Yeah, it was definitely more so a comedy, but with your fairly heavy-ish horror elements. But it knew what it wanted to do, because our main character who played our not nurse or sheriff, no, because that was Robert Forster, right? It was a sheriff.
He was like the
Yeah, so
he was like
Robert's
used
son
in
in
the
this
movie,
and everything. So second in command, whatever. Basically, he's the writer and director of this.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. That says a lot.
Yeah. So there's some dialogue and everything that actually I laughed my ass off on a couple of them, just because there was some relatable aspects of just his freak outs of why people were doing things, just fuck, I've freaked out.
To me,
like that
he's
too.
so over the top at times that
He
it pulls
was.
you out of the movie. He needed to rein it in, and then the whole movie would have felt more well-rounded. Now it just feels like at times it's so over the top that it's slapsticky.
Well, that's the thing, though, is you can't take this movie super seriously, or else you will come out very disappointed.
It was a deliberate choice in that regard.
And again, too, once you get towards the ending and you find all that stuff out, it kind of it helps the beginning part of the movie a little bit easier to digest.
So I quite liked the movie. I did like that it ended up being different from most werewolf movies that you'll see.
Yeah.
I appreciated that aspect of it, and part of why we wanted to review this today is because I think going forward we'd like to review one werewolf movie for every full moon that drops.
Which is full moon tonight, man.
Indeed. So that's why talking about the Wolf of Snow Hollow makes sense.
Sorry, I'm just looking at those fake Jaime and Fuegos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we have a troll, and I think it's a dude that just keeps making new things and disliking every time. So that's where the dislikes are coming from, obviously.
It's what.
But nonetheless, I'm just let's stick to the script here.
Sorry.
I enjoyed the movie more than I thought I would. The main guy did pull me out of it numerous times. But everyone else around him kind of kept the movie grounded for me. And specifically, I really liked Ricky Lindholm. She was
Is that the girl with the
cop
earmuffs?
with the earmuffs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was asking you where I had seen her.
I know.
previously
She's part
earlier.
of Garfunkel and Oates.
Okay.
Her
Yes!
and-
Yes!
Yes. Indeed,
God, I like
indeed.
it's the eyes. I'm like, I know those eyes
Yeah.
from
She was
somewhere.
also in Hell Baby with the longest nude scene in
I was
possibly
about to
history
say,
of
I
horror.
have totally seen that woman's boobs, and they
Fully
are...
naked. She stands there fully naked in front of, I think, Rob Hubel. I can't remember who it was.
Okay, Hell
But
Baby
like
is the
just
one-
straight up, full naked,
Hell Baby is
bush
the
to
one
boob,
that had
like crazy for like 5 minutes.
Okay, that was the one that had like dudes from Reno.
I'm sure she
911.
loves the fact that that's what I bring up when we talk about her acting. I'm so sorry, Ricky.
She was very pretty.
She's a big fan of ours, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one that had some of the guys from like Reno 911, if I remember correctly. Hell Baby.
Yes, yeah,
a
little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But this one, I enjoyed it. It was just too over the top at times. I feel like if they had kept it all reined in at about the same level of silliness, it would have been more effective for me. But I did like that the resolution was not what I expected it to be. It might be disappointing to some, but I feel like it was different enough that I was okay with it.
Some of his banter, though, sorry to just jump in here.
No, you're fine.
Some of his banter, though, was with his daughter, especially after that attack.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Well, and
you can't disagree. Like some of the
She was great in another period. You're right.
Yeah.
She is in another period. Yeah.
Yeah, she was
On Comedy
chastising him.
Oh, a
if I
couple
remember
days a
correctly.
month,
Good one.
Yeah, it was not what I was expecting. I will definitely give them creds on that. So
Yeah, no, that
What's
was
the name of the actress? Ricky Lindholm.
it was definitely a nice little fresh
R.I.K.I.
kind of thing of the werewolf aspect. But at a certain point, you kind of saw where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
So that was a little disappointing.
Yeah, truth.
So, but the gore was on point.
For what we had.
I mean,
Yeah.
For what we had and
It
everything.
was it was mostly post gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, halfway through, like the missing arm was the one scene that like really stuck out to me as far as, but really,
The missing vag is what stuck out to me. Sorry. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
hate
the
to
Jack
say
the
it.
Ripper kind of thing.
Yeah, where
that
the
was nasty.
That was our
private
first
parts are
kill.
literally
that was
carved out.
nasty,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like
Thank you.
seeing something in
Go
like,
do your thing, Hayden. Enjoy. Hell Baby is the movie if you're looking for
yeah.
it.
I mean, seeing something.
I swear
in
to God,
broad-
if that's my friend Hayden.
yeah, broad daylight and everything is where, like, when you can convincingly show gore and that sort of like lighting and stuff. That's where I'm.
So, all right, let's move on. I think Fuego. I think this is where we're entering your corner. Honestly,
Yeah, boy.
we're getting there a little bit quicker than I thought, but that's
Yeah, I
okay.
was
We
about
don't
to
want
say,
to.
oh,
We have
yeah.
other things to do tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
was
do.
about to say everything else that
All right.
is just me discussing.
So, welcome to Fuego Corner, where he's going to discuss like 7 movies
everybody.
all by himself. So,
Yep.
go ahead, Fuego.
Hi everybody, I'm Jaime and Fuego. No, but
Thank you, Chance. Wait, real quick. Chance sent a $5 super chat. Just want to say I super appreciate you guys. I think you're legit as fuck. I'm a fan of your opinions, even when I don't agree. Chance, you're the kind of viewer
Thank
I like.
you.
Thank you.
Indeed,
There's so many
indeed.
people
Yeah.
that'll log on, watch one video out of our over like 3,500 episodes. Be like, you guys think this? Pfft, don't need to watch anything else from you.
art is subjective.
I
Like,
appreciate you, Chance. Thank you.
What is the problem with differing opinions? They actually enlighten us to other perspectives, man. I
You know, it's
mean,
like assholes. We all got one.
Yeah,
Everyone's like assholes. We all got one and they
stink.
stink. Yep. Exactly.
Exactly.
Awesome and true. Thank you very much. So
Yeah, man.
we got some great commenters. We got some great viewers. We love you guys, which is why we wanted. to
Oh,
jump
we're
on
up to
Halloween.
7 dislikes.
No, it's okay. We were there. We've been there for a while. We're triple on the likes though, so we're good. We're not ratio.
Yeah,
anymore.
that's good. That's
All right,
good.
Fuego, hit your first
man.
movie here.
Yeah. So just to get like very brief about all.
He's
this
gonna have
stuff.
good ones and bad ones, just so
Yeah,
we're clear.
yes, indeed. So, Centigrade was actually one that I spent like the $5 on Amazon Prime to rent because I thought the concept was very intriguing. It's about a couple based on a true story about this woman who was on a book tour and she's there with her husband and there's a storm going on. I'm trying to remember specifically if it's like Sweden or Norway, but she's somewhere in Scandinavia. They pull off and they basically get snowed in and they are stuck in their car. So it has kind of that Frozen aspect, which is a film that I know you've seen and we both really enjoy. And so she's pregnant and she's in this car with her husband, and it's like they're trying to break their way out. They are unsuccessful in that regard. They have limited supplies, whether it's like water and food and snacks and stuff like that. And Yeah, it's a very self-contained, low-budget sort of film. This one, the acting was terrific, and the scenario was frightening, and so for that regard, even though I mean, it's not gonna like terrify you or anything, but it will most definitely unsettle you, and it's just one of those movies that man, Centigrade was very compelling in that regard, because I mean, just imagine being snowed over in a car and there's no friggin' escape, and like, what the hell do you do as you run out of supplies, and that you're on this like seldom used road in like a remote area of like Europe anyway. So yeah, this movie, great performances, frightening, very small scale, but really effective. I have to give it tons of props.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, Fuego, is The Secrets We Keep.
Yeah, maybe one of the best films I've seen this year. I mean, at least top 20 in the fact that Noomi Rapace, who was in those Swedish versions of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
The good ones.
Yeah, holy fuck, man, is she so good in this role. So basically, imagine you are a Romanian woman post World War II, and you see somebody in a small town in Virginia that looks a lot like somebody who terrorized and killed friends of yours, and that you barely escaped from, as far as like Nazi kind of nastiness goes. So she thinks this guy is that guy, and what does she do? Hits him over the head with a tire iron. You see this in the trailer, and then he's in her basement, and she is basically trying to get a confession that he was that person out of him. But the problem is that she has super PTSD from being in the war. She didn't really tell her husband about all of this, who she met in 1946 in Greece, who was an American man. They married, they came back to America. Oh, it's great, everything's wonderful. Yeah, this guy is claiming to be from Switzerland. He's claiming that he's not a former Nazi. And so it's got major vibes of a really terrific Stephen King story, which had Brad Renfro and Sir Ian McKellen. Yeah, at Pupil, which is terrific. So it's got kind of some of those vibes, but the performances in this film are impeccably awesome. It was supposed to be theatrically released. I think in certain parts it actually saw like that limited theatrical, but it's on VOD now. It's also at Red Boxes, and Noomi is so friggin' good in this movie. It's literally insane. The fact that she
was great in that Seven Sisters movie too. I think that wasn't she in that?
Yeah, where she played all the different roles and stuff. Yeah, man. I mean,
what happened on Monday? Was that what?
Oh yeah, whatever happened on Tuesday, whatever.
You're right. You're right. Yeah,
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, because they changed the title.
It was called Seven Sisters when we did the trailer
Initially,
reaction.
Yeah.
You're right, and they changed it to whatever happened to Monday or
Monday or
whatever.
Tuesday.
It was on the festival.
Whatever happened to that day that ends in Y.
Yeah.
Dude, she's so good in this movie. That woman is badass, and I have eternal respect for her after this movie.
We got Knightley in the chat. What up, brother? Thank you for the $5. Happy Halloween to you, my brother.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, congratulations on the reception from Never Hike in the Snow. Knightley, if you guys didn't know, he played young Jason in Never Hike in the Snow. We got a little celebrity in the chat here. So give him some props for kicking ass as young Jason.
Indeed. And also props back to Noomi Rapace. This is one of my favorite films of the year. It is so friggin' good. It's tough to watch, and it has a third act where it goes where you were not expecting. The uncertainty of whether this guy actually is or is not, or if this woman is nuts or is not, is so compelling. So, yeah.
Right on.
It's a great movie.
You're doing good, Fuego. You're making it concise. I'm
well, even from what you and I were talking about earlier about that movie, I'm super excited to actually watch that.
I'm just hoping I'm not building it up too much. As the burden of expectation, the burden of fucking expectation.
Come next Sunday. God damn it, that movie sucked.
All right, so Fuego, you got.
That movie was pretty good, but it wasn't like top 20 of the year.
Damn. There you go. Possessor is next.
Yes, Possessor.
Possessor is nexter.
Yes, this is the follow-up from Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg, the master of body horror. Neither of you guys saw this, right?
Nope.
But you and I were on the antiviral one, though.
Yeah, antiviral is awesome. This movie is engaging and intriguing, but it falls a little bit short in my estimation, unfortunately. It is not horror, which is why I didn't review it yet on the channel here. This is really more so like psychological espionage with like a little bit of like psychedelic craziness incorporated.
Yeah, because like when we did the trailer, actually, I think you and I were the only two that actually had like, I had like an intrigue to it. You had more of an actual interest. I don't think Cecil give really two shits about it.
He's like, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Not really.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I definitely like when we were talking about this earlier and whatnot. It's like eventually they all get to it and everything, but it just wasn't one of those ones that just jumped right out to me where I need to go see this immediately.
Yeah, it's totally not horror, man. I mean, it is violent, but Pulp Fiction is violent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen a lot of action movies that are very violent. This is not a horror movie. This is basically about a woman who is like some sort of like rogue psychological, like jumping into people's heads assassin sort of thing, and that's essentially what she does. She has the ability, she can basically clip people, and then after she has made that like initial like cybernetic just I guess joining, so to speak, then if she goes back to her people, she can jump into their mind and she takes them over. And she makes them do insane things and in a compromising position where they will be killed, and then she jumps out of their heads like last minute. And so that's basically, and we see that in the first 20 minutes of this movie, you know.
I will say I called that during the trailer action.
It's intriguing. It's intriguing, but like her second mission that we see her haphazardly go on goes awry, and that's where everything spins out of control, and we get kind of something going on. Performances are really good, but damn, does the movie drag, and it's not as intriguing as, I mean, something Cecil and I talk about all the time. You can have an amazingly compelling concept, but if the execution doesn't really hit, that's the perpetrator here. It just does not, especially with the third act.
Do you think as well, though, you went in with a little bit too high expectations, just coming off of how much you and
how much I loved antiviral?
Yeah, how much him and I like
man.
antiviral.
Yeah,
so there was definitely the expectation of, all right, well, he did such an amazing job and originality with antiviral. What's he going to do with this?
Yeah, and I went to a theater to see this. I went to Phoenix Film Bar. I was in there, myself and my lady, and there were like two other people on the other side of that tiny little place. But there was four of us in the theater on a Monday night when I watched this, and this was the director's cut. It's violent, but it's, once again, espionage, like jumping into other people's heads, like sort of craziness. It just didn't resonate with me the way that I was expecting.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing too. Is if it was more that known of is that espionage kind of science fiction versus horror, I think your overall thoughts and opinion would probably be a little bit higher.
Yeah, I mean, similar to all the praise.
Because the trailer definitely made it look more horror centric.
No, which it's not. I mean, even in the poster Cecil just showed with like the
yeah, you expect.
I guess that's a mild spoiler, everybody. It's almost more so like Mission Impossible pulling off the mask on a face sort of thing, you know. So
I will say that was kind of a cool scene.
I
did like that.
I love that in that.
I did like that Mission Impossible probably the most, honestly.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
No, the second one.
No, they did that in all of them.
Ew.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been there.
See, I watched the second one more than anything.
So.
Ew, really?
Yeah, he says.
All right.
Limp Bizkit?
Oh, I'm not really a big Tom Cruise fan, anyways. So
I'm not either.
So getting
Sorry,
before we continue with Fuego's reviews, I did want to touch briefly on
Please do.
the TV stuff that we're going to be hitting on soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did record reviews. We will have reviews of The Boys season 2 soon. These two recorded a review
with Marsha because
with
girls
Marsha.
get it done.
That's why we're waiting for it.
Yep.
We're doing. They recorded a review of Raised by Wolves, the first season, tonight. So that'll be coming soon.
If you guys haven't watched that yet, get on that. It it was a slow burn in the mid.
I don't
but
think you need to get on it.
It was
personally,
worth. It
but-
was definitely worth it.
I'm more so with Robert. I liked it.
Like
a lot,
it was
man.
definitely
Yeah.
worth it.
Cool.
Like, don't listen to this guy.
It was.
behind the corner.
No.
It needed to be 5 episodes.
He's the
not
showrunner
10.
and the mastermind.
It needed to be 5 episodes, not 10.
He's the founder of the feast, dude.
I did watch the first episode and a half of Hellstrom on Hulu. I don't know how soon I'll get back to that.
Okay. The
not
one
that
that I
soon.
watched a couple episodes of that you and I were both kind of into that Marcia pointed us to, Utopia.
I am
Utopia
4 episodes
is-
into that, and it is fucking amazing.
Utopia is awesome, and Tree from Happy Death Day being the blondie. That's Tree, dude.
Keep watching.
Oh.
So yeah, Tree is in it for a bit. Well,
they kill a fuck ton of people in the first episode, so
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
It's a fucking great show, and definitely horror enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say
with all the diseases,
Cusack
with
and-
all the murders,
Yeah.
with the secret society. It is definitely horror enough. And Marcia turned us onto it.
Yeah.
I mentioned it
actually
briefly.
watched- I thought we reacted
never
to the
reacted to the trailer for it. No.
Okay, I watched the trailer.
Yeah, I did before I watched the actual thing, but Marcia's the one that's like, you guys need to watch Utopia, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And then
Like,
Fuego
there's so
watched the
much else to
first
watch.
episode. He's
The
like,
first
yeah,
episode's great.
you definitely need to watch the first episode. I watched the first episode, and I was 5 minutes in before I was like, okay, I'm sold on this.
Yeah,
I'm 100% sold on
It is
this.
so comic-centric for you, man.
It is so... I didn't even realize that was Tree, to be honest with you. That's so
dude,
funny.
you were beyond me.
Dude, I love it.
immensely
I
as far
love
as
it.
comics.
Utopia is so good. I can't wait to talk about that. Hellstrom, on the other hand, is a pale
You've
is
said
a weak
kinda,
man's. It's
yeah.
it's a weak imitation of Lucifer. It's not that great. Again, I'm only like an episode and a half in, so we'll see. We haven't we're waiting for the last episode of the final episode of the first season of Primal. That's next week, and then we'll be able to review that. I have watched the first 4 episodes of the final part of Supernatural. I watched the brand new one.
I haven't gone to that yet. Don't
I
say
watched
anything.
the brand new one. It's really good.
I'm sure it is.
It's really good.
I'm already
I
super
can
sad.
I can only imagine.
It's really good. And then I thought there was another show that we were all trying.
Where you guys at on Doom Patrol?
I've been done with that for a while.
Okay.
We've been done with that
All
for a
right.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna
yeah,
say,
we
that's
have
the one that
we haven't even dropped our first season yet.
Oh yeah.
The first season Doom Patrol review is supposed to drop in November, and then we'll drop the second season sometime after that as well.
Although I have to say, man, it's not on this channel, but holy crap, that first episode
Mandalorian.
of Mandalorian
It was so good.
was...
Do you see why I told you?
Yes.
We might as well, because it was a space graboid. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's apparently a quest in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic video game.
Yes, which I saw somebody when I was watching Late to the Party, who were other Arizona reviewers.
I
were
never
talking
watched.
about
I
it.
never played that game, but that's
Yeah,
so
me
awesome.
Me neither. Holy crap.
Dude, that first episode was so
Robert,
good.
it's so badass.
I know. I'm probably.
Yeah, it might be my
Within the
favorite.
end of the weekend, I'm gonna finally get to that season 2 of Mandalore. So.
Yeah.
It actually might be my favorite episode.
I think it's
of
my
the
favorite
show.
episode too.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They evolved the
Hope
way.
you guys
That's
aren't.
it.
I hope you guys aren't up talking this. I swear to
Well,
God.
just
it's,
wait.
it's the first one that John Favreau actually directed himself.
Ah.
And it actually ties into Jedi.
Yeah.
Zachary Hayes says Timothy Oliphant for the win.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Ola
so
fantastic.
great. As the Marshal.
Timothy Ola
He's
fantastic.
so
Yeah,
goddamn good.
basically everything from the crazies, even if it was small stuff on
Justified,
well,
man.
Justified wasn't a small thing, but I was saying like Girl Next Door and everything. That's where I first.
Excuse me,
noticed
I was
it.
Deadwood.
like, yeah.
Deadwood for the win.
Okay.
Oh, I
Deadwood.
forgot he was in Deadwood.
Yeah.
Deadwood. I will go even further
Santa
back.
Clarita Diet for the second win.
I'll
Thank you very
actually-
much.
Yeah, well, I watched Justified before any of that.
I
Fuck
will
that.
head
Santa Clarita
crazies.
Diet's amazing.
I will head even further back. Go. The second Doug Liman movie where he's
Scream 2.
where
Oh,
he's
it
a
was
drug
like, yeah.
dealer
Well, I
director.
remember you were talking about
He was
this
the
last
killer.
week.
He was the
whatever,
killer in
yeah.
Scream 2.
Yeah, I
where
forgot he
he's
was in
like,
Scream too.
He's like very notably trying to get Katie Holmes to go to bed with him, and I'm just like, well, of course, like why not? I mean, holy crap, Katie Holmes and the
You're
late
Katie Holmes. You
No,
go to
no, no.
bed with him too.
Man, Katie Holmes in the late '90s, I was just like, I hate.
Everyone
Tom,
had
I hate
a crush
Tom
on Katie
Cruise
Holmes.
so fucking.
Is
much.
there? Isn't there another horror show that I'm forgetting also that dropped though?
This past week?
We didn't watch Monsterland. I know that dropped this month.
Yeah,
Dude, there was a bunch of stuff that was dropping this month.
We haven't touched on Haunting of Bly Manor yet either.
Oh.
Yeah,
We'll probably get to that eventually, but I am in no rush to finish that show.
neither.
I'm like 3 episodes in, and I straight don't care. I straight don't care.
Well,
I just don't. I don't care, and I'm not going to subject myself to 7 more episodes when I'd rather watch everything else. Obviously, we put out a review of Lovecraft Country.
I love Mike Flanagan, and it's pretty to look at, but when the fact that this season he is handing off the reins to other people, I don't know.
All right, well, let's refocus on you here, Fuego. So I wanted to touch on all the TV.
Back on the more pressure.
So keep in mind, reviews of a lot of those shows will be forthcoming. But Fuego, let's refocus and talk about. I think you've got 2 more and 1, 2 good and 1 bad. So go ahead and start with The Vanished.
Okay, so back to the drama territory in this particular regard. So Anne Heche and Thomas Jane are the parents of a daughter that. Oh man, I guess I can't necessarily say because there's a reveal in the back half of this. Okay. She goes missing early in the film. Okay. And they're at this RV park. They're somewhere in the south. They are getting just nastiness from some of the locals, and just really just a lack of consideration, very surprisingly, in the situation. And as stuff continues to transpire, they get more extreme. God, there's stuff in the first 30 minutes of this film where you're just I can't believe a character did that, and then a little bit later you're shocked a character did that, and it's at the behest of trying to find some answers and whatnot, but strong performances from Heche especially, man. I can't remember the last time I actually saw her in a film, and she as this mother who is trying so desperately to figure out what her life would be without her child, and yet still the possibility of finding her. Mm-hmm. It's she is grief-strickenly just believable beyond belief in a lot of ways. And Thomas Jane, I mean, he's always strong. Jason Patrick, yeah, as you reminded me, Lost Boys guy. He's been in various other things.
Wayward Pines, season 2.
Yeah, he's not that good in this. I mean, they show that he has his own inner demons of alcoholism and stuff like that he's fighting through. It's everybody really, whether it's the potential suspects or Thomas Jane and Heche, who are the parents who are trying to find their lost daughter. Everybody is kind of questionable in this movie, which is what makes it increasingly compelling. And
if I may, Fuego, eat a dick, CP.
I did not see what he said.
No, he said, next time you get snarky about me not seeing you live, remember it's impossible when you run parallel. How often do we run parallel? Come on, bro.
CP, my man. I even said, I was just
we did. We shouted out Lindsay and Chauncey in show business earlier. Everyone except you, we shouted out, CP.
Oh, CP, I love you, man. I mean, even when I saw...
And what up, James Grimm? Hey guys, make sure you go check out the My Special Boy Indiegogo. They're still raising money over there. James is trying to get himself the fundage to make a Jason fan film. So make sure you go check that out as well. Happy Halloween, my good sir.
No, CP is 100% my dude, man. Even when we were about to go live, dude, I was like, oh man, we're going concurrently with CP with the creature thing.
But CP, we're also going concurrently. You're technically going against the Witchcast with Sean C. Phillips right now. So
okay,
who's in the wrong here? Is it me? Is it you? Is it both of us? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, I know. But show business every Monday evening, or at least for the foreseeable future, we may be jumping to one every other week. With the fact that box office. But hey, come play. We watched it. And
come play. Go watch. Come play. It's a good. I'm sorry. Come play. Come play. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Play. Play. Yeah, but this one was actually.
Wow.
Have to round it out with this one though.
Oh, there you go. Plan to make a large contribution. Attaboy, Paul.
Yeah.
James. If you watch the My Special Boy trailer, it looks like they got their shit dialed in, pretty well. So I definitely recommend checking it out. And if you have the fundage, give it a try.
Yeah, this is one where I most definitely have to say that the twist, compelling, not expected, and really interesting as far as just trauma, damage, forgetfulness, all kinds of other stuff. This film went for it, and Peter Facinelli, I think his name is. He was
yes.
Yeah, he was in. You're like, sure.
I'm looking at it right there. I'm like, hold on, let me double check. Yeah.
No. He was Mike Dexter, I think, in Can't Hardly Wait. Where he's just like, Mike Dexter's a god. Mike Dexter's a role model.
Really?
He directed this movie. He was also in
that guy.
Yeah. He was also in
shit.
Well, he was also in Twilight. He has a pretty extensive acting career.
Holy shit! That was the dad.
He directed this movie, and he actually directed it pretty friggin' well, man.
Okay.
I mean, third act reveals especially, kind of, I guess, redeemed a movie that wasn't going good in the second act. But once you really start to realize everything that's going on, you're just like, holy crap. My jaw was like, I was like pushing it up when I saw all the reveals in the third act. So props for that script. Even if it's not a perfect film, it's flawed, but really great performances, especially from
like one that'd be worth watching.
Hey James, CP, I'm curious if you guys are still in the chat. Did you guys watch Voorhees? I'm guessing Voorhees is done by now. It's been 2 years since 2 hours since it premiered. We obviously are here, so we haven't watched it yet. I'm curious what the reception has been. So, horror show OnlyFans, come play.
I was about to say, take a deep breath.
Dude, starting an OnlyFans and just posting one video that says "Come Play" and it's just our review of "Come Play."
Yeah,
that would be really fucking. That would be troll-tastic, dude.
Yeah. I have the singer of my band who's like, "Should I do a OnlyFans?" And me and Mahala were just like, "Oh, come on, don't put us in that."
Zalb says, "I like your live stream, but I can't watch half of them because I'm in England and it's 4 a.m. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Yeah,
well, thank you at least for tuning in.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Hey, they're always going to be there. You can always check them out later and everything. Rewatch them.
Tried watching it and it was still going. Waiting to start from the beginning. Oh, okay, that's right, because it was a premiere. That's right, so you couldn't rewind. Okay. That's fair. All right, so Fuego, you have 2 left. Do you want to do the good one or the bad one? Let's save the bad one.
I said, actually,
nope. He's
already chose.
There's no choice involved in
that. The poster hath been revealed.
I gave you a choice, but you didn't have a choice.
Too bad.
So you'd spoken sooner.
Yeah. Okay. So, The Curse of Audrey Earnshaw. This movie has major vibes of The Witch with like those two D's,
Okay.
like The Witch. Okay. So.
Bitch.
So, no, this one really surprised me, especially since I got it on like a Redbox like promo code for free.
We were talking about this one earlier.
Yeah. This one actually compelling acting. It's how do I not spoil too much? God damn it, man. So, okay, you have Irish colonists who came to North America in the early 19th century, and they basically, in Canada, started their community, and lo and behold, as the like crops are not really producing properly, so on and so forth, they think that this particular woman who is living on the outskirts of like their town, so to speak, has some sort of like pact with the devil, and turns out, yes, she does. She's a witch. She has made that sort of like deal, so to speak, and she also has a daughter that she has like kept hidden from the rest of the surrounding community. And after a strange like seance sort of thing goes down, where like the daughter like drinks blood and all this other stuff goes down, everything starts going even more hideously horrendous in the community. Okay. We're talking about a woman becoming pregnant all of a sudden and having like some mutinous baby. Like the cows are having like children with 2 heads. So just, it's really messed up. And it was filmed in Canada. which we constantly give those guys creds, man. I mean, in especially like the Toronto area, they make some stuff that is very compelling as far as the scarific stuff goes. But this Audrey Earnshaw, who is the girl that you're seeing in that poster right there, she basically, her descent into embracing evil is incredibly compelling. And just the seeds of nastiness she sows throughout this community, that's already like on the verge of just butting heads, nastiness, and saying like, why are we not thriving anymore? Why are we dying? This was really, really good. I mean, I don't know if I'd say like 20 favorites of the year, but I mean, the younger girl especially, in combating the mother and basically saying, okay, we have these ties with these like Wiccan women, but yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
I mean, since both of you guys haven't seen it,
Yeah,
it's like,
no, it's
well,
fine.
you and I were talking
struggling.
about this earlier and everything. It was like I definitely want to watch this because
Yeah, it
it
makes it
sounded
sound
very.
good.
It wasn't a pretty intriguing storyline.
There's only so much I can say without like the
Well, that's the hard
revelation
thing, like
aspect.
with these
You
kind
know?
of movies, because basically the actual story is one giant spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, it's so
And
many
to a
movies,
degree.
so
This
many
girl
movies
is
come
really
out
good too. This
that,
girl is really
that there's
great.
a lot that can fall in the cracks, you know, and I think this is one of those that could do that.
Yeah,
So-
it's on Redbox and VOD right now, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So, Fuego, you do have one other one, and then there's one more that we all can review
Yes.
that I did skip over.
Okay.
So we'll go back to that
the one that you're about to show is
Bam. The Amityville Harvest, which, again, if everyone didn't know, Amityville is apparently a name that
Public
is not
domain.
copywritten.
Yeah.
It is public domain, so you can make an Amityville movie yourself. Hence the reason why there's 22 or 23 Amityville movies at this point.
It's the most
probably
sequelized
only
of, like, any
probably
franchise.
only like 12 that were studio made. But yeah, there are a bunch that were made by independent people that are just jokes. Fuego, how was this one?
probably the worst. probably the worst movie that I have seen this year.
Wow.
Unfortunately, yeah,
Surprising.
like legitimately the worst movie I've
Okay.
seen this year.
Real quick, I want to ask.
We did do a trailer reaction to it. I'm trying to remember. If
I
you were
don't
a
think
part of it.
I don't think I was a part of this, but I'm just curious.
There was the girl who had this scratchy voice, and she was the director of the situation. You're like looking at me confused because of the fact that like I can't even imagine. She's like kind of a pretty blonde, but she's older. I don't understand how she is an actress. If I'm going to be fair about it, and you know, I don't try to be really mean about this sort of shit, but she's terrible. Her little sister is terrible. Like that, like the sound, the effects, everything about this was so low.
Would you rather rewatch this or Children of the Corn Genesis?
Children of the Corn, 100%.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
because
can't
it's
say I'm
at least
surprised.
it's at least a property I enjoy. I
Alright.
mean,
Well, but they made some
yeah.
really fucking shitty Children of the Corn.
Remember,
movies.
there's another Children of the Corn movie that
Amanda's
is,
coming in hot to the chat.
Yeah.
I didn't know Rob Zombie became a rabbit. Oh wait, no, that's Fuego.
That's it's a rabbi and
what?
rabbit.
Wait, what?
Oh,
It's a
rabbi. I like rabbit more.
So wait, no, that's
Wow.
Oh wait, no, that's
My
Fuego.
drunk eye skips over T's apparently. Rabbi? How rabbi?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
The bow tie?
bow tie. I don't know, but you can't even really see the
I
bow tie.
like
with
rabbit
the,
better. Let's stick with
yeah,
rabbit.
yeah, with the beard. I mean,
It's
fuck, I don't
Jessica
know.
Rabbit.
I mean, I
Yeah.
almost wore the priest.
Jaime and rabbit.
Yeah,
Jaime
I
and
almost
rabbit.
wore the priest fucking getup again for that sheer fact, but holy shit was this movie bad. So just to give a little bit of context
Please.
Okay, there is a documentary film crew
Oh,
that
God.
goes to this home in the South, and I'm trying to remember if they actually specify where exactly it was. I want to say it's in one of the Carolinas, but lo and behold, as somebody who's not watched a lot of the Amityville stuff, like, do they incorporate ghosts and vampires and all this different
Vampires?
stuff?
Wait,
There is-
what?
There is a vampire in this who
No,
is like,
now you're just pulling out shit out your ass.
it is.
No.
It's basically like
No.
stealing from
What?
that Scott. Well, no, it's not Scott Snyder, but okay, Last American Vampire, where there was that like vampire who was in league with John Wilkes Booth and stuff. They totally steal that idea here, and the guy who was hosting this documentary film crew, who was doing this Civil War documentary.
But that's not Amityville. How the hell?
They kind of
Amityville's possessions and demons and ghosts, shit like that.
It's supposed to be in the house in Amityville.
Well, I know that too, but that house doesn't really
which
go
they show.
anymore,
They're like, it's the community of Amityville something.
No vampires, just bees.
Yeah, but this guy is like, I'm talking about my grandfather, and so on and so forth, and then you're like, he's most definitely this vampire who he is speaking of. Holy fuck, isn't bad. It borrows stuff from Silent Hill. It borrows stuff from like every horror franchise you can imagine. The acting is atrocious. The gore is just laughable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possibly, as I said, the worst film that I have watched this year.
I believe it.
It's so unbelievably bad. The Amityville Harvest, beware, everybody. That's really all that I can say. And I did not spend any money on it. I had a Redbox
What does it
code.
say? Some rules should never be broken. Yeah, making any more than 2 Amityville movies.
All right,
I actually kind of like the remake with Van Wilder, man.
It was okay, but it was so far
kind of
off from
okay
what
with
like the actual story of what happened to the Lutzes and everything. Like,
Yeah.
They didn't escape on the boat.
And the original one
They didn't
was-
kill the fucking dog.
And the original one was what? James Brolin?
No. What James? Was it James?
Yeah, it was James Brolin.
Yeah. James Brolin and then
Margot Kidder, I think.
Yes, Margot Kidder. Yes.
Who has been in so much stuff,
Yep.
obviously. As
All
well.
right. So the last
Anyway,
movie we're
fuck
talking
that
about
movie.
tonight.
Fuck it in its fucking ass.
I think my family's home. So
I'm sorry.
yeah. All right. So the last movie that we are going to be talking about is
The Pale Door.
The Pale Door.
Oh.
So Fuego, this was the one that you brought to our table pretty much because you were the first one to jump on it. So why don't you start on it?
Yeah, I sang the praises of this movie, and I think I overhyped the tree, guys, is really what it boils down to. Because of the fact that this is very much like a much more Western-centric version of From Dusk Till Dawn. Well, without spoiling, should I like the fact that it's not vampires?
Well, that's the thing. Well, even like the story is like even the synopsis is the movie, so
Yeah,
it's not really
witches.
it's not really a
It's a witch
spoiler.
movie.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
basically
it's
a
a
train
witch
robbery gone bad, and the group of our group of robbers take refuge in this town that is inhabited by witches.
Yeah.
And they basically have to survive.
And there was also a brotherly aspect that you address earlier in From Dusk Till Dawn that they address at the end of this movie, which is, one of the comparisons. I can
And then
say.
also one thing, if anyone watched like the remake of The
Not
Hitcher,
about the brotherly. That's exactly From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
This
The
movie
Gecko
borrowed
brothers.
a lot the more I've thought about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he kills Quentin earlier on.
Yeah.
But
But
sacrifice aspect.
our older brother, though, for what, like, granted, we didn't get a whole lot of time with him in the movie, but for what scenes we did have, he was solid enough. And if you guys saw the remake of The Hitcher with Sean Bean,
I haven't seen it.
he was the boyfriend side next to Jordana Brewster.
Oh. Okay.
And you know how in the original Hitcher, the girlfriend gets torn in half? That's him in the remake. It was a cool scene. He was just like, "Grah!" and you're dead. It was great. But other than that, no, like this movie, I think personally it was my own expectations that kind of hindered the final thought of this. I do like my Western movies and everything like that. I'm not too
Western horror, man.
Western horror, yeah, sorry, Western horror in
Love
general.
Western
I like my Western horror and everything. But there were just some elements about this movie I couldn't get behind. At times it was too slow. Our practical effects was nice. I will say that.
Once they finally got to it.
But even
I
on
like the transformation of those chicks, man.
same,
I thought it
but
was
some of
really
the line
good.
delivery and just the banter between each other, it felt so unnatural and forced. And then same with our he he was basically one of our last survivors and everything, but he was kind of the second in command.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
He was
not
kind of the
the-
douche guy.
Yeah, like he.
Okay, not the black guy who gets
Yeah,
resurrected. and
no,
it's like,
no,
killing,
not pops
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
No, the guy that was kind of, he was like the cool guy that you thought would get taken out sooner, but
Yeah.
somehow survived.
Yeah, he they tried to attempt an arc with him, but at the same time they didn't know where to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that hindered his
Yeah, you're right.
character, and that kind of disappointed me because I've seen him in other stuff and I like him as an actor. Don't fucking ask me what his name is, but I've seen him in other shit. But yeah, like again, this movie has elements of enjoyable things, but as a whole, I don't know. I think this is more of a one and done watch for me.
I think I'm the same as Robert on this one. I think, and it's not so much that it was the burden of expectation from you, Fuego. Fuego did say that
I overrated
was like,
myself, I
he
think.
said it was really good, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll just buy it. And he's like, well, I'm buying it. Why don't you just watch my copy? And
Which
so
I did.
I held off, and I did, and I'm glad I did because
Yeah.
It was such a kind of carbon copy of From Dusk Till Dawn, but I think not as good because they didn't go full bore with the gore like Rodriguez did. You know what I
never.
mean?
There's some really
Never be
cool
as good
moments
as
though.
There's some okay moments, but I mean, it was just chaos, and I mean, witches were being reused all over the place
Yeah,
because I
that's
guess
true.
they couldn't die
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
true.
But it's like, I was hoping to be satisfied by the end of it. And Western horror, if you're sticking through it, it's got to have a nice punch of an ending, you know.
It was
And
lackluster.
Bone Tomahawk did. I like the Burrowers as a Western horror, but this one was just a little bit lackluster for me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it definitely hit the note for me, but it was much calmer. You know, it wasn't like a big bombast sort of like finale. It was
Sure.
more so one of those ruminative, like, wow,
They do bring it down to a personal level by the
you
end.
like
I agree.
made a sacrifice without spoiling stuff.
Yeah.
You know, which I really
made the
which
point
I
to
really
you.
appreciate.
I made the point to you after watching it that I think it's more for people that have a brother.
Yeah.
It's more of a brotherly relationship movie. I don't have any brothers. I have 3 sisters.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Well, I do have a brother, but I didn't. It's a half brother. I didn't find out about him until I'm 25. So we don't have that connection. So no.
Yeah,
in
there's
my opinion, I didn't have that connection to draw off of to put into this movie emotionally.
There's an element of sacrifice that I find really endearing, compelling, and just admirable, honestly. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it factored into my appreciation.
I will
guess.
like, and like I was saying earlier, like I think the biggest shining moment in this movie was the practical when we got to it.
Yeah.
Like the set design, like it was nice and decent enough. Like you could tell, like they were working with 2 different sets, really.
It's almost
And-
an hour into the movie, though, once they finally get to those chicks, like, transforming into one
Yep,
piece,
and that's what I was saying earlier. It's like at times it's kind of a slow burn.
Yeah.
It's kind of a chore to get through at certain points, but
Although, from
there
Dusk
are
Till
some.
Dawn, I mean, it takes about an hour to turn into a vampire movie.
Yes
you
and
know?
no, but there was engaging drama and stakes there that kept you going.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, yeah, it was
Yeah,
that,
like the
that-
going over the border
Uh-huh.
scene specifically.
The-
It's one of my.
Well,
It's
the
my
hotel
favorite
room scene.
yeah, the hotel.
It's my favorite vampire movie of all
Oh,
time.
same, dude.
Robert.
Like
Yeah,
I'm right there with you,
fucking-
man. Like
Partner.
I absolutely love
Yeah,
From Dusk Till
I
Dawn.
adore From Dusk Till Dawn. It's
Yeah.
like that or Near Dark, man.
Fuck, I still own the computer game that they made.
Oh Jesus!
Really?
Yeah, so
I didn't
basically,
know about
like,
that.
yeah, so
Is it on a floppy disk?
no, it's not that old, not that old. It's still a compact, but but no, basically that was just a sequel to the original From Dusk Till Dawn. So Seth Gecko ends up getting picked up, and he's on a maximum security transport ship. Like it was an oil tanker that got turned into a max security prison ship. And
That sounds way more compelling than
Yes.
Texas Blood Money or any of those horrible
Hey,
sequels.
okay,
that they made, man.
the TV show
I didn't
was
watch the TV
god
show.
awful. That was a slap in the face, personally.
Or
I did
Texas
not
Blood
like.
Money, remember, had Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, those,
Had it
again,
T-1000.
those had very enjoyable merits because they knew what they were. They were a From Dusk Till Dawn movie. They weren't trying to be anything else.
All right, we're way off topic.
We are.
Yeah,
Sorry,
So,
mate.
guys, I think that's going to pretty much do it for this October stream. Samuel just showed up. What up, Sam?
Hey,
Did
Sam.
you like Dead Birds?
Sam Glass.
It's kind of out of nowhere. I've
I
never
haven't
Dead
seen
Birds.
that. No, I haven't
I'm
actually
like,
seen that.
Dead
No.
Birds?
We don't know what that is. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
yeah, that's gonna do it for this week's live stream. This special Halloween live stream.
Damn.
Catching up on all the movies we watched in October, so we don't have to do individual review episodes about it. Thank you guys very much for joining. Special thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. We greatly appreciate it, guys.
Love you.
We had planned on maybe reacting to some Womp Stomp Films short films, but obviously we've been going for a while already. We're gonna cut it off for tonight and maybe do that next time, present it later on. Keep in mind, we will be presenting our behind-the-scenes hour-long special of Never Hike in the Snow tomorrow. It was supposed to go up yesterday, but due to a scheduling snafu, it's going up tomorrow instead. So keep an eye out tomorrow morning for an hour more of Never Hike in the Snow goodness. And then we are going to be watching Voorhees and doing a review very soon, although I don't know that it'll actually be tonight at this point. So thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert the Wolfman.
And Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.
Happy Halloween, you beautiful bastards.
Happy Halloween, you guys.
Yes. Feliz. Some.
Halloween.